I'm not here to label Cory as a narcissist, but the behaviors, it mirrors covert narcissism. Okay? As a person with 2 degrees in psychology, it's kind of my niche, kind of my expertise. So just hear me out. Like I said, not diagnosing, that's not even my lane. I'm a researcher, but just hear me out. And some of y'all may be thinking this feels like a stretch, you're reaching. But ask yourself, if someone with 22 million subscribers, a cult following, and a clean image did something wrong, would you believe it? Or would the public image always cancel out the possibility? I wasn't even sure if I was gonna make this video and speak on this, but I've followed Cory Kenshin for a long time, damn near over a decade. You see my shirt, because I feel like people gonna get on here, she's not even a real supporter. Like, da, 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 da. I'm not a samurai, I've never claimed that corny ass title, but I am a supporter, or was a supporter of Cory Kenshin. Since I've seen his rise from this shy, quirky gamer into like one of the most beloved creators on YouTube, it has been very appalling to see what has been revealed. But I will say, and I want to be clear, I'm not here to say who did what or what didn't happen or what did. This video is about plausibility, right? I want to talk about how power, insecurity, and ego can evolve when someone's been publicly adored but privately never revealed. Now, from early on, to me, it was clear that Cory had a gentle personality, but the more his platform grew, the more I started noticing these flashes of his ego, like his need to control, his need for validation and power. There was a specific time I remember, I don't remember the video, but he literally called out a woman by her name in a video to his 20 million plus subscribers just because she ghosted him one summer in like high school or middle school. That's not storytelling, that's emotional retaliation. And he literally did that publicly. And I was like, I'm sitting there like, why did he do that? Like, it's not that serious, dude. And even if you wanted to tell the story, like, did you have to call her out and ask her why did she never like hit you back? I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure you have a bunch of women like knocking down your door in your DMs and you worried about this one girl from high school. Like, first red flag, not even the first red flag, but that's just an example of the behavior that I'm trying to know. And like, when you zoom out, a lot starts to make sense. He talked openly about getting bullied, being insecure about his appearance, and even feeling different because of his teeth growing up. You know, that sticks with people. When you're treated like you're not enough for so long, sometimes fame doesn't heal that, it just hides it. And when you finally get attention and power, it's easy to start needing that power to feel whole. That's when ego starts talking louder than humility. Let's talk about attraction and how it shows up in creators like Cory. Something that will always stood out to me is the way he idealizes non-Black women, especially those like in the niche of like anime and gaming and stuff like that. And I don't say that to police preferences. I say it because when you layer this with his visible discomfort with his own skin tone, a pattern starts to form. Like he would literally, like if the light was off in his video, he'd be like, ooh, I look dark. And like he'll turn on the light and it'll be extra bright. And I'm just like, dude, like if you're dark skinned, it's okay. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like I said, I started watching him in like 19, now I'm 25. So I feel like for adults, this is hitting different, but a majority of his following is young, and we're gonna get to that. To me, it's like he wants to be seen as not like other Black men, as safe, soft, and quirky. And it's okay that he wants to be different, except that distancing often comes with subtle anti-Blackness, and that was apparent to me. And it seemed like to me that this anti-Blackness showed up as him like wanting to, like I said before, be different, but also want women that get him. And, for some reason they're never Black. And he leans heavily on his Christian identity. That was red flag number one from the beginning. But like I said, when I found him, I was 19. Now I'm an atheist, and but I still enjoy his content, because the Christianity was kind of easy to ignore with the fact that he's saying a bunch of inappropriate things in the videos a lot of the times, and like I feel like his humor evolved to fit a more adult-like audience. And so seeing those messages between him and, you know, the victim or accuser, it made sense. And since he leans on his Christian identity so much, I think it's important to point out that religion can sometimes become a mask people wear to appear healed, or like they can do no harm, but they haven't even done the inner work. Like I said before, his audience is young, devoted, and for many people, Corey feels like family because he's attached to that nostalgic feeling that a lot of people have when watching him, especially his older audience. Foreign Fridays did a really good Negro perspective on him, and I really, really loved it. And I kind of wanted my video to complement his, just taking a more so psychological take on it. And from what I got, you can divulge some things like that from Foreign Friday's video, but his video inspired me to make this, and I'll include that in the description. And so since his audience is so young, devoted, he's also religious, I feel like that makes him hard to question to his, you know, fan base. It's that classic parasocial defense. He's wholesome. He never even cursed. Like, he talks about God. Like, he can't do no wrong. And yeah, I get it, but that's exactly how manipulation works, especially if the alleged behavior is happening behind the scenes, not on camera. When he gets in front of that camera, he gets to show you whoever he wants you to be. Trust me, I know. You know how much I edit in my videos? You know how many times I'm like about to punch the camera, cussing because I can't get the line right? You just don't know, okay? It's a lot that go on behind these cameras, okay? Whew. If someone builds a brand around being kind and safe, the idea of them doing harm just feels like betrayal. So instead of considering it, people completely dismiss it entirely. So this gets to the main point of my video. Like I said, plausibility. The behavior the accuser described, I feel like, is very plausible due to CoryxKenshin's past, the things that he shared with his following, and just the behavior he's presented as his career has elevated. It doesn't sound wild or unbelievable. It sounds like textbook insecurity turned toxic. I'm not here to label Corey as a narcissist, but the behaviors, it mirrors covert narcissism, okay? As a person with 2 degrees in psychology, it's kind of my niche, kind of my expertise, so just hear me out. Like I said, not diagnosing, that's not even my lane, I'm a researcher, but just hear me out. So covert narcissists tend to have a deep need to feel special. They're sensitive to rejection, and they use public image to mask control or shame. When you have lived your life with rejection, like CoryxKenshin has in his past, it can feel powerful to finally be desired. And some people use that power badly, especially when they've never been held accountable. And some of y'all may be thinking this feels like a stretch, you're reaching. But ask yourself, if someone with 22 million subscribers, a cult following, and a clean image did something wrong, would you believe it? Or would the public image always cancel out the possibility? CoryxKenshin is not the first Black creator to be deeply insecure and deeply powerful. He won't be the last. But we can't let charisma cloud our judgment. We can't let parasocial relationships turn into blind faith. And we definitely can't ignore the possibility of harm just because it is inconvenient to our favorite YouTuber's brand. This isn't about hate. It's about pattern, psychology, power, ego. It's about how unhealed people with platforms can weaponize charm and trauma to protect their image. And being for real, I hope it's not true. But even if it is, I know exactly why so many people won't be able to see it. This has been another breakdown. If you're into psychology, media analysis, or really pop culture discussions, Black cultural discussions, go ahead and give me a like, comment, and subscribe, because this won't be the last time we have to unpack this.